Better leave it to the professionals.
Blessed by Bundy, blah, blah, blah.
Started off with a bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, yo, set it up.
Surfing on the web and I'm shooting at 3. I've been goated when I got my G. I'm an alien boy from a different planet, yeah. So I got my drink, I'm riding in the 1920s Model T Ford. Call her Era Lord. Call me Levi, playing on the keys, boy. And I'm about to put my gloves on. If I said it, then I meant that. Yeah, I like that one, I'm about to get that. Crash that whip for the drumsticks, whiplash. I'm about to get them all. Are you with that? In a white boat, surrounded by blue. I want one, but I got a cop too. I wanna fly high in the sky, arms out wide, trying to soar from a bird's eye view. I'm on fire, Ricky, Bobby, cracking the pavement, Whitney, Bobby. I'm a Saki bomb, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Bruce Wayne been a dog, and I keep it 101, cause I'm feeling kinda spotty. You sipping on some rock and I'm sipping on octane. The only thing around my neck is the
Started off with a
blockchain.
bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, yo, set it up.
NFT, Twitter, blockchain. Seeing with the ghosts and we ballin' like LeBron James. Crypto. We can make a trade, get the memo. Refuse not falling for the FOMO. Listening to Coffee with Captain. You know we worldwide, they loco. I ain't never gon' stop rapping. Orlando, yeah, we working magic. We rocking Ethereum NFTs. I just went and caught me a half base. Man, I got a shout out
Started
to
off with a
Bode.
bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, yo, set it up.
Freaking the mood to choose one, but they got knowledge to move, son. I'm shocking in shades with my brother in shoes. Yeah, them blues is coming. Even though it's hard to pick, eeny, mighty, mo, soda on the mix, no biting lips, it's time to go. Index number 1, no thumbs up, you gotta scroll. Looking at the ghost in studio, it's time to go. Had a helmet on by myself until I met a mask that wanted to have a face off. So had to bring my chainsaw, full tank of gas in the drive with my brakes off. I'm A1, but a different kind of steak sauce.
Welcome to Coffee with Captain, powered by ApeCoin, where we dive into all things crypto, NFTs, Web3, and cutting-edge technology. Remember, nothing here is financial advice. Early-stage tech can be exceptionally volatile and risky. So grab your coffee and join Cap and Steve for today's conversation.
Welcome to the future.
Welcome to Coffee with Captain GM. Thanks so much for being here. I am Cap, joined by my co-host Outer Loom, and I'm going to kick her the co-host invite on Spaces once again. We'll see if this thing works. There is an X update. I'll drop that from the title here in a minute. But if you weren't aware and you do plan to speak today, go download that X update. We have identified that as a issue. Sometimes you get issues trying to get people up on stage, up on Spaces. And I know Outer did the update because she mentioned it, and that's what prompted me to update mine. And I also don't understand. I have my apps on auto updates, but for some reason X doesn't auto update, or maybe it does it every 24 hours. I should know this after spending most of my adult life in the wireless business, but I digress. Anyways, looking forward to a fun show today. We got Outer is with me in the co-host seat, although a little under the weather, so we'll be off video today. Send her your best, get well wishes, and I believe I will power through. Although I have like one of those pressure headaches on the left side of my head and temple, and the ring light is not optimal for that. So I actually took ibuprofen this morning. I haven't taken, like, no exaggeration, I think it's been probably over a year, maybe a couple years since I've had even ibuprofen or Advil. I'm just not a pill person, and use more natural remedies if I do ever feel a little under the weather, but wanted to power through the show. And so took two of those, maybe a half hour ago. So hopefully that kicks in and we're good. But if there's a chance it gets worse, I end up going off video as well. But we'll be here for the show this morning regardless. Has some fun topics to talk about. I mentioned yesterday we were so back and told everyone to swing trade that Burb token off that 200 million FDV mark, and I hope some people followed suit because it did not bounce. The channel got a lot wider, I'll say, than what I was looking at yesterday. The Upbit listing sent that thing to up over 50%. We'll check in on markets here in a second, but GM to all the Burb enjoyers out there. And with that said, looking forward to getting into things with Outer today. We've got a few things market related, including the title there, Delusional Optimism. Not just Outer myself, but actually have some science backing this and why it's good for you. We'll hit on here briefly and talk about a few other things out there, like the big news coming out of Hyperliquid. I know we flew over HIP for yesterday, but the market certainly loved the news. And Lighter, the other one of the other leading perp dexes, actually introduced or announced Hyper EVM yesterday. And believe it or not, we're going to find a way to discuss Bed Bath and Beyond later. Outer, I'm not even sure if you saw that news, but GM Outer. And before we get too serious, all things markets, builders, and some crypto products. How good is Night of the Seven Kingdoms getting? GM.
GM, can you even hear me?
Ooh, I can, but I was aware that you were a little under the weather. I was not prepared for how under the weather you are.
Oh yeah, I know, I'm pretty sick.
Oh, goodness.
That's why I'm just gonna spare you on video and honestly just kick me off if it's unbearable.
It's not unbearable, but if it gets unbearable for you, by no obligation, if you need to, check out or get maybe take a nap. I mean, certainly.
No, fine. I think a part of this is that at some point I took some ibuprofen yesterday, and my son and I decided that it would be a good idea to do some like couch karaoke. And for us, couch karaoke is like Slipknot and and Korn, and so I think part of the illness is also exacerbated by the fact that I sang "Wait and Bleed" last night at the top of my lungs. If you know, you know. So I did this to myself. Anyways, but yeah, I'm also sick AF, so I'm sparing everybody that. I watched the show last night just because I was quite under the weather on Sunday, so I went to bed pretty early. But I can't do the half hours; it's driving me insane. But I that last night was like the first, I think, like Game of Thrones-y kind of like shocker moment, which was great. No spoilers, but just like holy cow!
Great way to put it. Great way to put it. And I shared this. I read the books. It's like 3 novellas. I listened to the audiobook combined into one. I'm just going to keep it real. I did not remember that. And I don't know how I didn't remember that. I would think it has to be in the book because. Are
you serious? This was like a surprise for you as well.
Yeah. And I don't.
Oh my God. Okay.
So I don't know if I just missed it, because often when I do listen to, it's funny. I was talking this morning, like I consume a lot of content, but often it's content I'm consuming at 1.5x. It's in the background. I'm multitasking. It's fine for podcast, but it's definitely not optimal for books and things that, like, especially books like this that build upon storylines and characters. And so now, I mean, the first thing I thought was like, I need to go back and listen to the book again, because again, it's such a major thing that it had to be in there. Great way to put it, though. The first like Game of Thrones surprise. And I too wish the episodes were longer, but it was like, what a perfect ending. Like this is how you do TV.
I agree. Showrunners. They foreshadowed it quite a bit, which is great. I think not even just in the last episode, but in maybe not in the first, but definitely in that second one, there was foreshadowing going on for sure. But I really liked it. It's funny because I was going to actually ask you, as someone who has read the books, if you were satisfied with how that was presented. But even better that you didn't even remember that was a thing. So that's great.
Yeah, and I had, like I said, guessing it certainly is in there. I just somehow missed it, didn't make the connection. But I am Yeah, it's got me excited for the rest of the series. It's got me excited for, I think, original IP. Maybe this isn't the best way to describe this as original IP. Is it is, a continuation of an ecosystem of a world that is adaptations of books here in this case. But I'm trying to think now. I'm drawing a blank. There was some other.
You know what? Something that Divine and I did last night that like prompted this kind of like moment made us go and revisit uh like both Game of Thrones and House of Dragon. I'll leave it at that. But it was definitely like, oh wow, okay, this has meaning and impact. We have to go and kind of reconnect with some of the other stuff to figure out, what's going on.
Von Frutton says, didn't see the episode yet, haven't read the books, but he bets he can guess the surprise. I said doubt it, but I'd be curious.
Yeah, I mean, DM, I want to know what you think. God, I sound terrible. Just kick me out. It's not even like a good husky. I feel like I just sound like I've been on like testosterone for 7 months or something, which I haven't. This is crazy. I feel like my voice is so low.
Since you mentioned testosterone, I feel the obligatory shout out to Joey and his peptides and getting new PRs in the chat. Von Frutton, I say drop it in the chat because I won't signal either way whether you're right or wrong. I won't agree. You can text me or just drop it in the War Room chat there.
I'll spoil it for you. Just DM me.
I also am completely. I mean, we're pushing up against cold open hard out here, but I am genuinely curious. He shared right before that. He shared discussing film, and he said today is Elmo's birthday. He is 3.5 years old. I agree. If you're 3.5, it's not a birthday, but Elmo is way older than 3.5. What am I missing here? Like, I remember Tickle Me Elmo back decades ago. Like, Elmo's been on Sesame Street, I think, from the jump. Like,
maybe does he have a kid named Elmo? Like, I'm lost. I don't even what. Elmo is ancient.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it says, imagine being 3.5 years old with 45 years of work experience. Elmo's resume is terrifying. Is one of the top comments.
Must be that like the character is 3.5 years old, like in terms of.
Oh, like he was born on.
I guess.
It's such like a weird post, though. Why? Like,
I don't know. Look, it's a non-birthday according to Alice in Wonderland, so whatever. Happy birthday to everyone except for someone whose birthday it actually is.
Very, very weird. Einstein, I appreciate all of our GMers this morning. All the reposts, the bookmarks, don't go unnoticed, are greatly appreciated. I also saw Einstein just gave us a quote tweet, said, best way to start your morning in Web3, good info, great takes, and consistency at its max. Grab a mic and join the conversation. Appreciate that. As always, is open stage here. We'd love anyone if you want to join the conversation. Feel free to drop your questions, your comments in the chat, or throw a request in to come up on stage. I would just say, if you haven't yet, go check your X. Make sure you're running the latest version of X, and that will help mitigate any issues getting you on stage and into the combo. Also wanted to shout, I meant to do this last week. I saw Einstein sold his Good Vibes Club that had been rocking for a while. Congrats on the sale. And just wanted to acknowledge that. Love to see people booking some wins in any market. And I think especially as of late, it's not that by no means not that Good Vibes Club has crashed or anything, still performing well. I think I saw 0.89, I believe, this morning. Maybe a good segue into markets here, and then we'll talk a little more. Markets will lead us into delusional optimism. So starting with some NFTs, just a quick overview, and then the NFT combo will take us into Burb and Hype. But Green Day across the board, as majors kind of bounce back, nothing crazy, but better than Red Days. Hyper's up 1.9% on a big hype move. So that might be if you're in the market for a hyper liquid NFT, that you could probably do worse than a hyper. Punk's basically flat, but that $62,000 mark getting close to 50K, which has been the historical bottom, at least since I think they crossed that the first time. Pudgy's up 4% to 4.35. Apes up 4% to 5.36. Moonbird's up 13% to 1.18, following the big run up on Burb. Mutants up 3% to 0.77. Milady's flat at 0.98. Lil Pudgy's up 3% to 0.49. Good Vibes Club, yeah, 0.85, up about 1% in the day. Clone X, still no word on that buyer. Kind of surprised, thought we'd know by now. But 0.26, Azuki 0.7, Doodles 0.41, Quirky's 0.73. And I did see a Sam Spratt sale. I'm not sure why it's reflecting such a dip in floor price, but I saw actually, you know what? I think it was someone got hacked. I saw D's bought one that would look like he thought it was stolen or hacked and offered to sell it back to the original holder.
Was it a mask or what was it?
It was, so is there two mask collections? Like there's Mask of Lucy, but there's like a...
No, there's Skulls of Lucy, which are like insanely expensive. There's only like 50 of them. And then there's masks.
Yeah, so this was a mask, and I will I'll pull up Deez's post here because it was he's a high volume shooter. Taking me
curious to see if there's any masks that will not be pulled off of Nifty.
So are Mask and Skulls both on Nifty Gateway?
I believe they both are. Actually, I'm not sure about the Skulls, but the masks are.
And the Skulls that was the one where it was the...
That's his club. That's his inner, like, that is his like inner club of clubs. Because I believe the story goes that he gave a bunch of them to folks that even just placed bids on some of his earlier work, like way ages ago.
Wow. I
have a funny thing I posted. I saw Quit posted "See you in 4 years" putting on his McDonald's uniform, and I pulled this out of the archive because I posted something on Reddit yesterday that went a bit viral, and I went through my Reddit account. I haven't went through in a while, and I saw that at one point I got a mattress for a guest room. I don't even remember where, but I unraveled it, and that's literally the like design on the mattress. They're like McDonald's logos. So I quote tweeted Quit, and I told him not to forget the mattress for proper hibernation, considering I have a McDonald's mattress apparently.
Too funny. So Quit thinks that like market's over. We're in a 4-year bear. Is that the take? Is he in the
that's, here we go. Strap in. Say goodbye. Come back in 4 years. That's the signal.
We're going to be delusionally optimistic today. Quit, on the other hand, is delusionally pessimistic, thinking it's. I
think he's being realistic, but yeah.
Let's hope not. I am still searching for this. I may have to come back to it. Maybe it wasn't D's. I thought for sure it was D's that bought one of these masks. I guess it's not.
Yeah, now I'm really curious.
Because I'm and it was yesterday I saw it. Unless it was something that happened a while ago and happened to get retweeted. Sometimes the algo does weird things like that. But I just scanned the whole thing and his whole feed, and unless he deleted it, maybe he did find the buyer.
Yeah, that's possible.
But he I thought he bought it at like 4.5, which is where the floor's at now, and said something like, hate to see such a beautiful, or hate to buy a mask that looks to be a hacked, or, oh, I got it. Found it. So yeah, he says, hate to buy a probably hacked mask, but this one is too beautiful to let go to anyone else. If the person who was hacked wants the mask back for the price I paid, would love to return it to him. And he bought this for 5.945, which is significantly above the current floor. Current floor is 4.5. So I'm wondering if whoever this was.
What kind of, I guess you don't know much about the traits or whatever. Is there a picture of it in the post?
Yeah, I've got it. I'll pin it up top so you can see it better. And then, so I liked the actual post, not from the bot, not Deez's tweet, but you'll be able to see, should populate up top here in a second. So 14,000. Yeah. So it's a floral celebrity. It is very rare. Okay. Wow. Yeah. So unless this is normal, like of all the traits, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 are all, their only trait in the collection. Is that normal for this collection, or is that uber rare? It's a seer.
I was going to say, I think it's the fact that it's there aren't a lot of seers, and I'm just looking at the category. The understory. No, it's not. It's not that rare. I mean, all of the rare traits that you're seeing are actually unique to the mask, just because of the like. In effect, depending on where the person whose mask this is added all of their text to Nifty Gateway, and those are all rare. But the rank and the category and those are like not unique. And the understory, I think, is a rare one. But the seer is, because the seer ones have eyes. A mask has eyes.
Got it. That makes sense. Yeah, so I'm not familiar with the collection, at least near your level, but it does look like, at least as per OpenSea, I have no idea if these rarity rankings are accurate or even close, but it shows it as number 86. I do see what is showing is the number 1 rarity, also sold recently, but I would like to get deeper in that collection. I think just when I became aware of it, I was already priced out, and so I just kind of removed it from my brain. But the masks are, certainly a little more attainable than the skulls. As you mentioned, those things sell for like 400, 500 grand. Just wild. And was it? Yeah, congrats, Diego. Diego said he sold his 2 masks, best free money. I'm curious how did you get your mask, Diego? And am I right in thinking, so the skulls were the ones who helped, like could add comments, could impact the metadata of the big, like.
There were passes as well. I think skulls automatically got a pass dropped. I think there was a sale for passes, maybe. I don't remember. There was also pass holders then could invite someone else. So that's how the attendance doubled. So if you were invited, then you essentially did get a free mask just for participating. But they also had a raffle. It was 2.5 ETH to potentially get to be able to participate in the masquerade. So they had a raffle for, I can't remember how many. And I think the total is, I want to say, was it 500? I mean, like, A, I'm sick, B, it's been a minute, so I don't remember all the details, but y'all can look them up. But yeah, then once the masquerade commenced, there was, I think, 3 parts to it where you added one story, then a second one, and then a third one. And then there were like, I think 3 other special masks that were given by Sam Spratt and his team based on like all the contributions. And then like the masks were like individually like kind of crafted depending on what people's responses were and inspired by them and named by them. So like, it's interesting. Like if you buy a mask, then unless it's an incomplete one, some people just didn't participate, then you're getting like, you could see what the entire lore was of the person who had it before you, who participated.
It's pretty cool.
It's super cool.
I would love to fall into, like, I don't know, open up an old wallet and there's just 100 ETH in there, or fall into just an unexpected windfall that's not already earmarked for a different bucket of investing or gambling. If I fell into that, I would, on my list, without putting a whole lot of thought to it, I would scoop a Punk, a Squiggle, a Rafik, probably a mask. I'm sure there's a few others.
I would just buy an Ether Rock and be done with it.
I would need a lot more than 100 ETH for an Ether Rock, though, no?
I actually don't know what the floor is on them right now. That's a good question. Is it 250? Sometimes they're 250.
I'll go look. What, and yeah, 80 ETH, I guess. So you're right. You could do it. 80 ETH is the floor, and then it goes to 145. This is
perfect. That's exactly what I would get if I had 100 ETH.
There's only 20 of these in the world.
Then just PFP that, and that's it. Maybe add some googly eyes to it. We're done.
18 owners. Who is there? Do you know? Is there an active Discord here? Is there like a quote unquote club, or is it just the flex?
I have no idea. I think I am sure there is a ton of lore on this, and of all the things I have dug deeply into, this is not one of the things I dug deeply into, aside from knowing that A, it exists, and B, that people obsess over it.
Hard to do a lot of trait analysis on rocks of different
shapes. You nailed it exactly. I'm like, the rocks, great.
I am curious why,
but I do love them.
I'm curious why it shows the supply of 20 with 18 unique owners, but yet
I don't even know what contract they're on, right? Like, I don't know if they're wrapped or like they're super old.
Yeah,
so I don't. Wrapped. Yeah.
But I wonder why so the numbers though go into like the hundreds. Like the one listed on the floor is number 93. That's interesting to me.
That's what I mean. I don't know if there's more, and those are the wrapped ones that are on OpenSea. Like I literally am like I'm mansplaining this. Like I have no idea. I don't know the background of any of this. Like you could just chat GPT Ether rocks and probably get more information than I know, except for floor price high. And like if I think about a collectible or a piece of art or something super interesting, like even like beyond autoglyphs, I would just want an Ether rock because I think it's just ridiculously dumb and I love it.
Yes, so I'm doing that, although I'm no longer chat GPTing things. I'm clotting it. I mean, what's the verb for clotting it? Like just clotting it? Is there a better word?
Great. I think clotting it is fine.
Yeah, I've full ported over to.
Or you could just say lobster because I think that's so hilarious.
Open clawed it. I clawed it. Ether rocks. This is our. This is Joey. I saw you fly up with a hand. We're going to go to Einstein first, and then we'll get right back to you. But this is our unofficial. The more you know. For those of you that weren't around in 2017 or didn't catch the lore in 2021, Ether Rocks is a collection of 100 unique pet rocks, simple clip art images of rocks in different colors. The project is notable for being one of the first NFT collectibles and predates many of the popular NFT projects we know today. Regarding your question about 20 wrapped versions on OpenSea versus the total supply, yes, there are 100 total in existence. The wrapped Ether rocks you're seeing, likely 20 of them are ERC 721s, wrapped versions of the original rocks. The original Ether rocks contract was not an ERC 721 compliant. It predated the ERC 721 standard. So a wrapping mechanism was created to make them tradable on modern NFT marketplaces like OpenSea. The remaining 80 rocks likely exist as unwrapped original rocks still in the original contract, probably listed on other platforms or in private wallets. So yes, there's definitely more than 20. Full collection is 100 rocks in total. And the wrapping process is reversible, so owners can wrap and unwrap the rocks as needed for trading.
Makes sense because punks also wrap, right? Like this is before CryptoKitties, because CryptoKitties, I think it's Dapper Lab, right? That made CryptoKitties. That's the 721 standard that came with them.
Yep.
Or a bit later.
The other one, I'm curious your thoughts on this, and I promise Einstein and Joey will get to you. I mentioned punks in passing there. I don't know if we've ever had the discussion about V1 punks. How do you feel about V1s versus V2s? Are you this can be somewhat of a controversial topic. It's not that deep for me, but I also think V1s are undervalued relative to their V2 counterparts.
You're talking about the purple background ones that Larva Labs discarded because of the contract issue?
Yes.
And then, okay. I don't know. I mean, if I was going to get a punk, I'd get like the punk that everybody recognizes. Personally, but then I'd probably look for the V1 punk to match that.
Same.
But I wouldn't lead with getting a V1 punk, if that makes sense. I would lead with the punk and then see if I can get the matching one. Most punk owners do own the V1 version of their punk, or at least they try. So but I think it's I think I already said what I said. It's like it's unidirectional for me, if that makes sense.
Same. It does make sense. And I say same, although I'm much more likely to go drop 1.5 ETH or 1.65 ETH on an NFT in 2026 than I would be to go drop 62 grand on one. So I may start with the V1 and then they have that give me the aspirational goal to go acquire the V2, kind of build toward like DCA into a, the V2 version of it, like a punk. Ooh, I like this. There's a V1 that's close to the floor. I kind of like. That said, Einstein, appreciate your patience. Not sure if you came up just because we invoked you or wanted to do comment on something else we hit on in the cold open / a little bit of NFT market talk there. GM, always a pleasure. Appreciate you joining us.
GM. Good morning, Cap. Good morning, Outer. Good morning, Joey, and all the legends out here, the grinders, the DJs, and the people here for just their daily coffee. Appreciate you for having me up. Just invoked a little. I tried to come up. I think it was last week sometime, and I kind of got rugged out. So, long time listener, first time speaker. So I just wanted to come up, contribute to the conversation. Appreciate what you're talking about, and yeah, man, love all the classic collections. Try to stay within my tax bracket. So other than nodes dropping, I'm not sure too much on what Punks has going on, but man, appreciate all you do, man, and yeah, just up here to join the conversation. I think we can pass it over to Joey.
No, appreciate you jumping up. And I would have never guessed. I didn't realize it was your first time coming up on stage. I see you so often out in the audience. I see you giving support on the show, whether it's the repost or the comments. And yeah, my brain, if you would have asked me, I said, yeah, he's been on a few times, not up here often, but yeah, great to finally get you up here. Great to hear your voice, and truly appreciate all the support.
Yeah, of course, man. It was great. And to a comment earlier on the sell on my GVC, was not any due to lack of love or poor sentiment. Those guys are great. That community is amazing. I'm still a community member over there, regardless of whether I hold. And I'll definitely be looking to re-enter on that project. But just felt like it was an appropriate time to maybe take some profit. And luckily, it was before the little bit of ETH crash, so not in too bad of a spot after that.
Yeah, good for you. Congrats. And I'm in the same boat. I'm a huge fan of the team. I said it's become one of the, for a while, Steve and I, we had like the running bit that we would pump things that we don't hold, or especially sometimes things we wanted to hold and just hadn't got to yet. We would continually pump them. I feel like I went about a couple weeks straight where I mentioned in a positive light, Good Vibes Club on a daily basis. And I had a similar move, minted 5-pack of those, held on 3 of them for a while. And then ultimately, shortly after the strategy token went live, I thought I made a smart. I did make a smart move in hindsight. I just didn't re-enter quick enough. Like I saw a huge sell wall of like a couple hundred NFTs. I'm like, this thing's probably going to stagnate here. It was still early in the Vibe flywheel, not just Vibe, but the NFT strategy concept in general. And it just, to me, the data said I didn't see it powering through the massive sell wall from that, the strategy contract, and ended up, that was like maybe like 0.69, I think is when I exited the last two. Ended up dipping down to like 0.45, but I didn't re-enter. So learn from me. And if you do see a nice discount on these and you want to re-enter, take your shot before, because one thing that the flywheel does do when just the nature of how it works, it can create those sell walls. It also, when things get moving, things can move really fast and plow through any quote unquote sell walls. The Vibe strategy wallet currently does hold 312 NFTs. They've sold 793 NFTs, and 22% of the Vibester token has been burned. It's down 18% on the day. So speaking about discounts, I'm going to take a note. I'm not going to go into deep detail now. If we have time later, I'll talk about my 1 trade a day strategy that I'm going to look to employ. We might even make it a segment here on the show. Today might be the 1 trade I make today might be picking up some Vibe strategy because of it's at a $6.3 million market cap. The team clearly aligned, and down 20% on the day. We want to buy dips, not rips. Einstein, I see you're off mute. We'll go back to you, and then we'll get Joey in here.
Yeah, man. Just a little F1 for people who may not know. 69K gets you a badge within the ecosystem, which you put in for all the raffles that they do with the Vibies. There'll be other opportunities as well. And then for asset holders, RevShoot share will be coming here soon. So we'll be getting a nice little portion. I think it was about $420,000 were put up for rev share. That'll be based on badges and ecosystem factors.
And when you say rev share, is that coming directly from royalties or?
Yeah, so it's basically been set aside, I believe, from royalties from the token itself, and then it'll be dropped to holders. More information coming, not super clear on it, but it definitely has been mentioned and posted by Ty and the team. So definitely some good things on the horizon. Hopefully that'll come to fruition, and we get to see a nice little rev share wheel with the community. We've been waiting for that since 2022. So if anyone can execute on it, I definitely think those guys, they're so authentic, and between deliverability and just transparency, and always kind of keeping most ideas in mind and letting the community know, hey, we're here to bring value to you guys. I'm pretty bullish on that sentiment, and just them, doing more for their brand, their community, and the space overall.
Awesome. Love it. Appreciate you sharing. And I think I gave some misinformation, not intentionally, but I think that the NFT or the Vibe strategy, the token work strategy charts are just broken. I quoted what it was showing at the top. It's showing down 18% on the day. But if you look at the chart, I had to double check the 1-day chart. It's actually up And I recognize that because I went to I just checked out another chart. CoinGecko shows it's up 5% on the day. So token looks up 5% of the day. I think this is just a UI UX error. Something is not tracking correctly in terms of like what it's showing on the 24, because it definitely is by multiple checking multiple sources. It appears to be up. Joey, appreciate your patience. GM.
I always love when Outer's up here because she is the research queen. And it got me thinking when you guys were talking about like what you would own, and she mentioned like the Ether Rock. We always talk about like what we would own, and it's always ETH stuff, right? It's ETH art, it's ETH NFTs, but like I don't know how much research Outer's done on like other chains, but are there other NFTs that you believe Outer on other chains that have some significance or worth considering, whether it's Sol, whether it's, I mean, ordinals are pretty dead, but like, in your opinion, is there something that we don't talk about enough, like that's been done on other chains?
I was gonna say I could guess one, and you're taking shots directly to Outer, but go ahead, Outer.
Hey, it's all right.
I mean, that was not an intentional shot. I mean, ordinals are down real bad.
I think everything is down for sure. Ordinals, runes, but also like Ethereum. What the hell? Brought out the McDonald's mattress for a reason. I'm gonna sleep on it tonight. There's some really interesting stuff on Bitcoin still. Because I think again, like everything stratifies into art and PFP culture, right? And ordinals have a similar aspect to that as well. There are other chains that I do have interesting things in. Celestia had some interesting stuff happen there. Yeah, there's things I'm watching here and there. I mean, it's a really good question. I think like ultimately most of the like attention economy is on Ethereum. I think it's like it is the daddy of art and culture on chain if you think about it. So it's kind of hard to like compete with that a little bit. And then I think Ordinals did a great job of it, only in the fact that there's like okay, finally there's art and culture on, the chain. And I think that will have its moment as well, because you can really do a lot with Bitcoin. So, and there's stuff happening, but I think because it gets into like, I don't know, like I have stuff from there used to be like an Optimism marketplace, and like you're getting into some of the L2 stuff. Of course, like
I know for
all
like
of the
a while,
base, there's like all the base stuff. Sol, like, does anybody care about Sol on NFTs anymore? I don't know. Like, I feel like people who cared about Sol NFTs themselves also left that. So, but again, like if you go through the archives of this stuff, like maybe it was too early to be an NFT historian like 3 years ago, but like I feel like being an NFT historian is like a whole other vibe soon enough, where you're going to like dig through cool stuff. But at the end of the day, I think the question behind the question is like, okay, who is going to make something popular, and everyone's going to either be like, oh, I own that, I'm glad I do, or they're going to rush to it because somebody, announces that it's some kind of like an important thing. Like, and I think like that happens all the time. Nobody cares until somebody points to it and suddenly becomes like this thing of significance because it has attention economy. But yeah, I've definitely collected. I mean, even like Tezos has had stuff going on forever, and there's been a bunch of artists on there that popped off into like Ethereum. So I don't know. But currently, like today, I am mainly like if I'm doing anything in other chains, it's because I know the artist, so they're bringing me to that chain as opposed to me like being chain forward and looking at the chain first.
Makes sense. This is when
I was literally going to ask you about Tezos, because there was a period, what was it, like in 2023, where everybody was like, oh, the best place, like all the art, all the cool stuff is happening on Tezos now. Go on Tezos and mint this and buy this. And so that's like one of the chains I was specifically going to ask you about, if there was something over there, that classifies as like something we should all be looking at.
I think it's interesting to think about these different chains. I also think Dort has a good take. I think it's really interesting, maybe even a deeper discussion around this. We were talking Solana. Dort says people care deeply about Claynosaurz. I think people care deeply about specific brands and are generally chain agnostic now, which is a trend that's changing or changed. I would agree I'll draw the line at like the 2021 class and moving forward. I think if we're talking...
I didn't know Claynosaurz were on Solana, but I know exactly what that project is. How funny is that? Like, just because I know the brand and I have brand awareness that there's a dinosaur like 3D situation going on and I know people love it. I'm not in the ecosystem probably because it's on Solana, so I wouldn't even I just, whatever, is not my thing. But I didn't even know. I had no idea they were on Solana. So just to prove the chain agnostic point, I'm aware of the project. I didn't even know what chain they were tied to.
And they did launch their secondary collection on Sui.
I didn't even know they had a secondary collection on Sui. Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
And I think, not knocking them, the collection did well. I really think the team is doing some great things. I think they are underrated. I don't think they're talked about.
I like them, but
same.
For me, I feel like I'd have to go on some Russian fairy tale to try to get one of these. First of all, I'd have to dig up some Solana wallet I have not paid attention to in a minute, which I probably have to do for the whole burp thing anyways. And then go to what marketplace sells Solana still? Is it Magic Eden? Are they is that still a thing? Is that where you go to buy? Okay, great. So I'm just lazy, okay, maybe I'll do that today. Maybe today I will look for a dinosaur. I don't know. I'm not even. I think they're great, but the UX to entry, it sounds like it's a lot of work.
Yes, I guess I agree with everything. I agree with Dork's take. I also do. I'll speak for myself. That's probably why I don't have a Clayno yet. So I did play their mint game, and I got an SBT or something in a refund when they did their secondary collection. It was some unique mechanics. I really like the team. It's actually Payne and I were using them as an example recently about quote unquote earned media, where Cab's in my DMs weekly, maybe more often, and he's not shilling. It's just more of oh, by the way, FYI, here's the thing we did. And I appreciate that because I'm not in the ecosystem. I don't think they get enough press or enough credit for all that they are doing in and outside of Web3. And I don't share or talk about everything he sends me, but it does help me. It helps me stay in tune, and often we'll end up giving a shout out. We'll end up talking about, we'll pin the post that, that was in the news. And we brought it up as an example because we're going to proactively reach out to some more teams and share the same. Now, obviously, I don't want to even say there's a fine line. Fire at will. We're not going to share everything. And at some point, if you'd like a deeper relationship, we can talk about what different segments or partner campaigns, sponsorship campaigns might look like. But the reality is, if it's newsworthy and it's something cool or unique or novel, we're going to talk about it. But that's
going back to the collection though of this, which I think where this came from a little bit, and other chains and whatnot. Real talk, I got reminded of the dinosaurs. I always thought they were cute, so I'm oh yeah, maybe I should have one in my collection. But okay, I'm lazy. I don't feel like doing the whole Solana thing. But then I'm well, maybe I'll get something from the secondary. But that is even more annoying if it's on Sui, because I that's just even worse than me going to Magic Eden, because I think point blank, if the secondary collection was on ETH, I would probably get one today just to have something from them, because I actually genuinely like them. But that's more annoying for me to try to go down the path of getting the secondary thing on Sui. Even more annoying than me trying to get the thing on Solana. But here's the question that I have for people listening: does OpenSea have Solana? Because I haven't paid attention. And is it easy for me just to no, they don't. Okay. So I have to go Magic Eden, and I don't even know does Phantom Wallet now allow or Magic Eden's wallet allow for just if I have ETH or Bitcoin on there, can I just buy right away? Because this is ultimately going back to that ease of use, cross-chain UI UX type thing, right? Or can I just pay with my credit card? Can I just be a boomer and do it that way? We've come there's no excuse at this point for me to have to start a whole new wallet and a whole new chain to get the thing that I should get. It should be one click and I own the thing. That's where I'm at.
I think I don't know this for sure. I have no insight or inside info. I think OpenSea is close to that. Like, to answer your question, yes, I think you could go buy with other currencies, whether it be other crypto or credit card on Magic Eden. I think OpenSea is close. They haven't turned Solana on yet. But once, and I don't know how difficult that is from a tech standpoint, but I think once they turn on Solana, then all of a sudden you're really close to that scenario you just described, where it really is chain agnostic. It almost doesn't matter what chain it's on, so long as it's a chain that's going to be around for a while. Because you don't, and I'm the same way. Like, I have Solana NFTs? Yes, I have a Phantom wallet. I have a Magic Eden account. It's another step away, and I've never. I don't know. I don't really have it is an excuse. Anything I'd say is just an excuse. Shiba, will go to you here in a second. Before we do so, we were talking historical NFTs. So before we get too far away from that, I have to give my pump my own bags here, because this is when we know we're really back. When we know it's historical NFT season is when I start getting bids on my Bitbirds, especially this golden eagle that I've got. That I wasn't aware of this until I pulled it up. That I paid 0.24 ETH for it at some point. Probably following some Leonidas historical NFT space shill. I'm kid, but not really. Anyways, NFT birds, Bitbirds, another historical project. I had to go back and see. Let's look on chain when the thing actually minted, but no one else really cares other than my bag pumping. Anyways, Shiba GM, it's been a while. Hope you've been well. 5 years ago and 62 days is when that thing was created. If anyone else is curious, Shiba King GM.
Hello. I'm usually not up this early anymore. But I came to say hello, and you guys are talking about NFTs, which I think all of us here are still passionately about, even though we're probably never going to get a bull run ever again. Just kidding. It's eventually going to come. I felt the same way. I felt like a lot of the brands slipped under the radar, especially if they came after 2021. A lot of really good brands have built on some of these newer chains that really did not even get any type of acknowledgement outside of the mint. Like, the mint's over, the project's there, and then, everybody forgets about it. And I'll be honest, I'm just like Outer. I don't touch any other chain, especially now. I mean, I'm lucky if I'm buying even an ETH NFT or anything off Pudgy's, just because and nothing is making it. We've had all these projects winning like awards against big regular brands, IRL brands. We have Pudgy's out there. We have Bored Apes Other Side, and it's fully developed and people are playing it. You have Doodles with their IP. I just feel like all the IPs are so strong, but we still can't get any price action. So going off chain to buy an adventure on another project right now just seems like a giant waste of money. I'm not saying that Claynosaurz isn't worth the soul, but I just feel like that, right? I think a lot of us feel passionate about things we've been holding for a long time. A lot of us wear apes, a lot of us wear penguins, and we still wear them for that reason. So, but I think everything will get more interesting. I think some of these IPs will start sticking, and hopefully one of them get that value grab that will impact the rest of the market, like we were hoping for a second ETH NFT bull run here someday.
Yeah, I don't think we ever get a bull like we experienced in the past, but I do think some of these will hold the test of time, and years down the road, they should appreciate in value. Will there be opportunities to trade in the short term? Sure. By the way, Diego is offering up if anyone has questions on the Claynosaurz ecosystem. Feel free to reach out. He also said, for myself, since I joined that raffle for the Popkins, I should be able to claim a badge there. I'm not sure if I've done that or not. And
I just want to look at their traits, so maybe I'll do that later today. And I think also, like, to piggyback a bit of what Shiba said, like, I do collect on other chains, but I think for PFP culture especially, it just has to be easy, and otherwise, like, I end up on a chain because I follow an artist that brings me there, and then they make it really, really easy. Like, I really like Sarah Friend's work, who is like a super OG blockchain artist, and she had something called Prompt Baby out on Tia, and it was really neat because I got to participate in that. I submitted like a prompt, and she used AI to make like very specific AI that she trained to make some works. And I think like my specific creation that I made with my prompt ended up in a couple of like art catalogs and being exhibited and stuff. So like it's a completely different mindset as to like, and motivation as to why I'm involved in that from me like looking at PFP stuff somewhere and seeing like what traits I vibe with. Like I just don't even have the same brain and approach to how I want the PFP culture stuff to be like so easy. Whereas I'm willing to invest time into like artists that I like and the stuff that they're up to, because it actually like it like scratches a different itch, if that makes sense.
It does. I'm curious if you do end up diving into the Claynosaurz collection. I'm curious to see your thoughts on traits. And the other thing I think they've done a really good job at is driving collectors. I mean, similar to Good Vibes Club, where you get the collector badges, they call them pods. So it's like building a pod of all the same species of dinosaur. And
what do they have? Do they have a Stegosaurus? I love the Stegosaurus.
They do have a Stegosaurus.
Yeah, they do. They have baby dinosaurs too, which is dope. The Sui collection I thought was really nice. It was probably my first mint in who knows how many years.
How much are they? How much is the Sui collection and how much is the Soul collection?
Maybe 11 Soul last time I checked. Maybe 9. I feel like they
how much is Soul? I don't even know.
$100, $95, $98. I don't know, somewhere around there. Okay. It's not much. And the Sui collection is probably like $50 to $100. I haven't checked recently, but I'm assuming they're around those prices.
Yeah, I'll check.
Look at Claynosaurz getting free advertising on the show. They didn't even ask, Cap. They didn't even ask.
Cap made a very good point. They have a very great team. Like, I'm somebody, I bounce around, people know me, but I don't know them directly. And they messaged me and made sure I was okay for the Sui mint. Like they were going around individually, like messaging everybody that was even remotely interested. So I love that. I love super engaged teams, especially when shit sucks, right? So
yeah, no, the team is first in class. They've got, I mean, several people that are really high quality people on the team. I'm looking for that Sui collection. It's not as bad as X search, but the Magic Eden search when you select all chains is not great, unless maybe Sui's not on.
Sui on Magic Eden? Is that where you buy it?
That must be it. I can't find it on there. So what marketplace do we go trade these? I know we have some.
It's not on there. It's that other marketplace. I wish I could give you the name, but I actually haven't used it. Hold on, let me see if it's saved.
Maybe Diego can save us. Where are the Sui dinosaurs, Diego?
Yep. Let us know where we find Popkins. Where do we find them? What marketplace are Popkins? I will say the Claynosaurz, since I have it pulled up here, the floor on the Claynosaurz is 10.35 Soul. The traits, the species, to answer your question, Outer, it's T-Rex, Triceratops, Stegosaurus, Anklo, I'm not sure what that is, Brontosaurus, Raptor, and a Pterodactyl. The Pterodactyls are the rarest of the bunch with only 220 of those in the collection.
They have a Brontosaurus?
They do.
It's supposed to be an Apatosaurus. I thought the Brontosaurus is not even like an official name.
Really?
I thought the archaeologists phased that out. Am I right on this? I kind of don't remember. Now I got to look it up.
Now, I love this. We're
getting Outer. It's a good dinosaur, but now I'm curious.
We're getting Outer into an NFT collection. We're giving Claynosaurz free media today, but at the same time, we're fudding them for misnaming their Brontosaurus.
Well, I'm not sure, but
the chain is called Tradeport, so I just should jump in. Tradeport. .xyz is what you use to get the Sui baby Popkins.
Is anybody an archaeologist was listening? Am I right on this, or am I making this up? I thought the Brontosaurus was like a retired name, like Pluto is not a planet, and it was the Apatosaurus that replaced it. But like maybe I'm making this up. I am sick.
Incredible, more information today. Here's the other challenge. So I'm not knocking them. This is truly, we're fans of the brand. We're promoting the team. Just like some real challenges is it's not just, do I think Solana NFTs don't get enough credit? Because it's just not the first. I would say, especially for people that came in around that 2021, and we're so into ETH. It just, I know some people got over there. I'm looking here on this Tradeport. Thanks for that info, Shiba King. The other thing is, like, I have no idea what this translates to. So their floor is 74, 75 Sui. I'm going to guess Sui's around $1, but I really have no idea. It could be 50 cents. It could be $5. I really don't know. I could go look.
$1.14. You're close.
Yeah, so about $100, give or take, on USD on the floor there. But yeah, collection's done well. They minted out. Who am I to say? I just am excited for a day where you can just go on OpenSea and they're all there, and I can buy an ETH or USD or whatever and not have to do my translation on what does 74 Sui really mean.
I have a Brontosaurus update.
Yep. what do
Okay,
we find
this is
out?
wild. I can't believe this. So apparently it did get phased out and replaced by the Apatosaurus, but it was reinstated as a valid scientific genus in 2015.
Oh.
So
It's
because
literally a Pluto. They got rid of Pluto and then they put it back, and now there's a planet after Pluto.
I think, I mean, that was the Ceres, I think is it called, and it was around after Pluto for a while, which is like super small. But yeah, there's a comprehensive study that found that the Brontosaurus was distinct enough to deserve its own separate genus name. So now we have Brontosaurus and Apatosaurus. So huge shout out to the team for looking that back up and bringing Brontosaurus back. That is wild.
So yeah,
I kind of love that even more.
Yeah, so it was a trick question. But yeah, the team is dialed in. They know their dinosaurs. And these popkins are cute. So I DM, no pressure. I know you got other things on your plate, but yeah, if you do end up,
What's a popkins? Is it also a dinosaur? Like, I don't even know.
I think it's like a made up dinosaur, maybe. No, so there's a rat, there's a cat slug, there's a dodo, there's a squib, there's a lumere, an axio, a diplox, a gobblejaw, and a snarflin.
Oh, is this like prehistoric mammals or something to go with the dinos?
Maybe. I just don't know if they're real or not. Like if they could be completely made up, or maybe they are some sort of prehistoric.
I think somebody from the team is coming up. I think they're like, oh my God, I'm going to either throw my phone into the wall or I'm going to come up and like stop these people from butchering the project.
Swiv, GM, thanks so much for joining us. Always a pleasure to have you here. And I hope you didn't take any offense. We were truly giving Claynosaurz some earned media there. We love the team, and not even critiquing, just talking about our journey, and really Outer and myself giving ourselves excuses as to why we don't hold a pot of popkins. But the question everyone's asking, are these real historical mammals or animals, or are they a made up IP? Help us understand. What am I looking at here when I have this this beautiful lavender gobblejaw pulled up on screen?
Hey guys, good morning. Hopefully my son's 3D printer is jamming in the background, so hopefully it's not too loud. But
oh, good.
Yeah, the popkins are totally made up, but if you think of them as like the minions of Claytopia, so kind of like how, and ironically, a handful of the team members actually worked on the minions in Despicable Me, so it's kind of cool. But the reality is, like, Claynosaurz are doing a TV show. I know 100 projects have said that before, but they legitimately are like in production of creating a TV show. It'll be 78 episodes, starting out on YouTube and some other places probably. So it's they're basically building, a show, and they need it can't be just the dinos. So the popkins are going to be like, additional characters within that world. And so, it is a secondary collection. And I totally get where Lumen's coming from. I mean, we are totally creatures of habits. We get comfortable. I mean, I honestly, exactly everything you guys said is exactly why I barely own any Ethereum NFTs, to be totally honest. I'm Sol native. So the idea of like, creating a connection on OpenSea and going and buying one it's just not in my wheelhouse. I know it's easy. And our job at Claynosaurz is to make it to where you are willing to overcome the friction to go and get one of these and be part of the ecosystem. So, is
your PFP a Brontosaurus?
It sure is, yeah. So I posted actually, I recently, the team actually featured my Bronto in one of the Instagram shorts. So if people haven't gone and looked at the Clayno Instagram, you really should. It's a really good snapshot into what the team's capable of. And I don't mean this by I don't mean throwing any shade, but I think that the shorts that the team's putting out right now is probably the best coming out of Web3, to be totally honest. And it's a really good snapshot. And so they put shorts out on YouTube, Instagram, and on TikTok as well. And so, it's a really cool way, but yeah, they featured my Bronto in one a couple of weeks ago. So I actually posted it in the comments.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I would also add, Outer and Swift, fill in any gaps here. Not only are they crushing it on their socials in terms of reaching a non-Web3 audience and just putting out good content. I'm excited for the YouTube series. They do crush it with the shorts, and their Instagram is blowing up. the other thing I think they do incredibly well, as good as anyone in the space from the NFT PFP world, is they work the trade show and the conference circuits, not crypto conferences. While they do attend those, and you often see Cab speaking at them, I would say almost every single month they're at some animation conference, some Swift, you can maybe fill in the blanks of some big ones. I always see, and it's frequently he's doing a keynote. It's not just sitting on a panel, but they are getting out there in the world of cartoons, of animations, of I know I'm not sounding intelligent here when I'm trying to describe where they're going, but they do the conference circuits and get in front of other non-crypto people about as good as anyone out there, not just from a consumer or someone consuming, social shorts, but actually influential people in industries that they're growing into. And you think about animated shorts and TV series and whatnot. So is that anything like, I know I could have described that better, Swift, but like, can you think of like a recent talk that Cab or one of the team members gave at one of these bigger conferences or trade shows?
Yeah, so Cab actually at the end of last year went on almost like a world tour where he went to a bunch of the different animation festivals. So they did in Annecy, France. They have a really big festival every year, like an animation awards festival. They threw a big party there, which is really cool. It's kind of funny. People are like, "Who the hell are these Claynosaurz people?" They threw like the main party, and I guess like there was a party for Netflix, and it was like a ghost town because everyone was at the Clayno party just having a blast. So, but yeah, he's been speaking. He's about to speak at RenderFest next week, which is a big. It's more along the lines of like, these aren't typical Web3 facing summits at all. And the cool thing is like the Render Festival right now, they just put out the billboard and they're literally next to like Fallout, K-pop Demon Hunters. What are the other ones? Just some big names that and it's like the cool thing is like they're not paying to be on this billboard. They were invited to speak here, and they're actually there's also a kids animation summit in San Diego, I think in a couple of weeks here, and they're actually finalists in like a top 5 for like an animation contest. So the reality is like the team's just been heads down and grinding. And really it's like even with the Solana thing, and one thing that a caveat too is like when they launched in November of 2022. If you guys remember, like gas fees were unreasonable on Ethereum.
Yep.
Like this was back when one transaction was hundreds of dollars. And it's like when you want to build like this interactive brand where you're using your NFT and you're doing tons of transactions, whether it's with gaming or product or TV show, all of that stuff interacting, it was literally non-feasible. And this was back way before all the L2s really were solid. And so Solana was the best option at the time. I still think in hindsight, it'll be a really, really good choice because I believe in Solana as much hate as it gets. But so that's part of why, Solana at the time was the right choice. But I think in a way they've had to prove themselves even harder because people are just like, oh, it's on Solana. They automatically get dismissed. And then again, you combine that with how many projects have said, we're going to be the next Disney. We're going to make a TV show. We're going to have plushies and our brand is going to be universal. It's like nobody has pulled that off really. I think Pudgies is probably the only one that's really pushing, but have they really crossed that barrier? Like, it's like, and I'm not throwing shade by any means, but it's like, even when they were on NASCAR, like I remember the announcer was like, oh, it's a penguin. I don't know what that is, but it's pretty cool. It's like, that's great. But no one knows Web3 brands yet. They know apes. That's in CryptoPumps probably. But I think that's part of what the team is trying to do is just heads down, prove themselves with their product versus convincing everyone that they're going to be the next big thing. So that's a little bit about why they fly under the radar sometimes. I think that's almost by design.
I love it. Well, I also love the brand. I think Claynosaurz, it's like it is descriptive, but it's also new. It's not, again, please don't take this out of context. It's not PvP. but it's not just another penguin or something that couldn't be confused. It is very unique, but yet most people that see it, without even seeing an NFT or an image or like, their brain's probably going to say, "Oh, it's Clay Dinosaur," right? Like I think it's a well done from a branding standpoint.
I think it's a myth if you don't partner with like Play-Doh or Sculpey or some kind of like modeling clay thing, because I feel like, yeah, that would be the play to get kids on board with that.
So here's some a cool little story, but so that those discussions have been had before, but again, part of the idea is like, I mean, you look at Web3 right now, they have these big partners. I mean, like Doodles with McDonald's, Doodles with Fruit Loops. Like, did it really? And again, not moving the needle in the sense of just floor price, but did it really help permeate the brand? And those conversations have been had before. Because I agree, like these would be so perfect for like a Play-Doh playset. But one thing Cab said a while back on Spaces was he said, "Look, if you use up those partnerships now, you can't use them again later." And that's the thing. It's like Claynosaurz needs to be more known so that when you have a partnership like that, it makes more sense and it actually works, if that makes sense.
It does. Makes a lot of sense. I dig it.
It's long-term thinking, which is so foreign to Web3 and how most of it's all about just like hype and our attention spans are shot to hell. That's why it's like, for me, like this is a long-term play for me. I'm not expecting the team to pull off some crazy, they're going to be in every store in like 6 weeks from now. To me, this is honestly like a multi-year thing that I'm on board for. So because I really think that this space needs to mature in the sense is like they want Claynosaurz to be the next Disney, but then it's like, but it's been 6 months. Why haven't you put out like a TV show? And where's the full AAA video game? It's just like the attention span and and then how come you haven't made me rich yet? That's where we are still, unfortunately.
I think it's a great take, and the reality is, character IP takes years, if not decades, to develop, and so it's you're playing a long game and something that it's a long game. Like has there been IP brands, character brands that have just caught some sort of lightning in a bottle and overnight success? Maybe. I can't think of one. Like I don't know one off the top of my, even any of the big brands you talk about, like we were talking, I know not a character brand, but like Roblox, like the history of that company and was like 10 years in the making before it really took off. Like it's any stuff like this, when you're talking mass adoption, it takes years. And I think, I'm not saying punting, but I think deferring some of those partner opportunities until the time is right probably makes a lot of sense. I'm changing the title, Outer. Certainly appreciate you coming up, Swib. Outer, any questions for Swib? I see a Brontosaurus in Outer's future. I agree with Diablito, but any other Clayno or Popkins questions before we hit on I don't know, maybe Bed Bath & Beyond?
Oh my God, that's the best pivot ever. No, it's great. Thanks for coming up. It was not on my bingo card to talk about Claynosaurz today, but I don't know if I even had a bingo card. So I'm excited for Bed Bath and Beyond. That sounds very boomer. What's happening?
You might think it's boomer, but it is not really. We're gonna keep people hanging on the Bed Bath and Beyond conversation because we'll lead into it with Burb and how the Burb token might maybe someday Burb token is listed on Bed Bath and Beyond, or at least one of their subsidiaries, or what they might be rebranding to. Some interesting news I was not expecting. Complete curveball. We will get to it, but we're going to leave you a little bit of a cliffhanger because before we get too far from the Burb conversation, I don't know if you can see. It's probably hard. I need some additional lighting back here, but go ahead, Swift, before we go ahead and get back in here, and then I'm
gonna jump down. I just want to say thanks for having me up. But I also want to say my DMs are always open. If anyone's ever interested or has any questions about the Clayno eco, my DMs are always open. I'm not a shiller. My goal, I would rather onboard people who actually are interested and care about the brand than try to like pump my bags or try to just onboard people for the sake of floor price. We don't care about that. Like we're trying to build like a community that understands what we're trying to do. And so just want to put that out there that I'm always happy to help. Because sometimes, like, if you look at the floor right now, you're looking for a dyno. it's hard to find good ones, and I can help track down ones that might not be listed. So anyway, I appreciate you guys. Appreciate all the love. Thanks.
Yeah, no, appreciate you as always. No, you're welcome anytime, and it really is awesome. I mean, it's one of my favorite parts of the show. We can be talking about something and not be the subject matter experts, and either we get a team member or someone in the audience is tagging a team member or getting them up on stage. So definitely added to the combo today. Greatly appreciate it, and shout out, respect to the team. I mean, I've been bullish. I think it is a great team, but even to hear some, some behind the scenes and some of the why behind some of these moves. Dort even adds in the chat, very good point by Swiv, very smart take. And I would say from the supporters, from those that I know are deep into the brand, that have, full pods and then some, it's your, I'm saying this complimentary, not making it PvP. It is very reminiscent to me of Good Vibes Club I was just mentioning, where I know it's not just because of collector badges, but it's a community that I view from an outside of collectors. And again, not making excuses, but I am making excuses. I think maybe one of the reasons I haven't got in is I know what they're doing. They've also alluded that with Claynosaurz, there's going to be probably a token someday. They've teased like rev share and maybe even equity. It's something I want to get in, but it's more of like, okay, if I do this, if I make the move, I need to make some really big moves and go acquire a whole pod. That way I'm well positioned and not just a little shrimp in a big collection that's I do feel is really rewarding there, or has and will continue to reward their collectors. Speaking of collectors out here, I'm not a collector of vinyls. And in fact, I said I didn't. The only reason I bought the Burb blind box was for token allocation, which I have got. I actually went ahead and ripped open all my Burb boxes yesterday. I'd opened them previously to pull out the card, but I didn't even open up the actual vinyls. I wasn't paying attention. Had I paid attention and saw one of the sides of the boxes, I would have left at least one of them unboxed, still sealed, because probably can't see it. Let me grab it. I pulled a bling Burb. There's only 144 of these in the collection. I'm getting the bling, the chrome or gold copper thing. I'm getting fingerprints all over it. Now I'm going to have to clean it up here after the show. But I know we were talking Burb nesting. I know you've not re-nested your Burb yet.
Oh, the irony!
I don't remember if did you get any of the Burb blind boxes, any of the vinyls, or no?
No, I didn't. I just got the yellow hoodie, which I quite like, but I did not get any of the. I don't know, man. I have like a few Lububus that I like. That's as far as I got into the whole like physical pulling of packs.
Did you pull any rare Lububus? No,
I didn't. I have 3 of them from I think the Energy or something collection. I don't know. I just felt like, you know what I got them for? I wanted them to be like the thing that hangs from your rearview mirror in the car. So I have Labubus hanging from the rearview mirror of our cars.
Is that a big? Is that distracting? I picture
it is huge and right? So dumb, and like I kind of love it.
Tell people you're either like, it's one of two things. You go either way. You're either like a uber nerd collector of collecting things, or you're some bougie, I've got to show off like this flex that I pulled a rare Labubu.
I literally think like people who see my car probably think I'm like a trad wife with like 7 kids and a Labubu in my rearview mirror, which is hilarious because I'm like pretty opposite of that. But it just makes me laugh, like in how like the kind of car I have probably leans into that too. I drive a Volvo. And then I have this like giant dumb Labubu hanging from there. And like I literally, like up until that point, you can ask Divide, I've had nothing hang from my rearview mirror because I don't like it. But then I like leaned into this like complete opposite. Like, why not go full force the other way? Because I thought it would be fun to experience opening a Labubu. So I got a couple and I ripped open the boxes with the kid and Divide, and it was kind of fun. But I don't have an addictive gambling personality, so that's where it ended. I did not need to get like all the other boxes of things to rip. I'm like, I'm good.
Now you've got me questioning am I nerd enough, and should I? Because my I've shared I got a Tesla a few months back, and it's very just minimalistic. It's just there's nothing. It's just a white with black interior, and there's no.
Your car drives itself. You could hang like
so I'm
a
thinking,
2-foot Labubu from your rearview mirror and can still drive it. Like, who cares?
There's
Lean
zero
into it.
personality in it right now. It is just basically stock factory. And I think it's the most popular. Like the white's the most popular color of the Teslas. So it's like very bland, very generic, and which is probably a good thing when you're talking about driving, less likely to get speeding tickets. I think it is. I think it is a fact that like red cars get pulled over more often because they're flashier. I digress.
You should wrap it. I really want to wrap my Volvo in a neon green, maybe, or like some kind of a cool like hollow gray or something. I don't know. I was thinking about wrapping. So I drive a Volvo station wagon. If you don't know this about me, I love station wagons. I love old station wagons, especially like the bigger the better. There's literally a whole like station wagon porn thing. Some of you send me station wagon images that you see on the street. Like I love station wagon. So the only like a North America maker that offers a decent station wagon with a good like back is like a V90 is pretty good. I have a V60, but anyway. But like it's such a boomer, kind of almost like grandpa / mom car. But if I wrap it in lime green, maybe it will look less like that. And I see a lot of wrapped Teslas. Like, I don't know, Cap. I think you should wrap it.
What would I wrap it with, though? What should I
I would do the background of your ape, like get that color exactly, but with like a sheen on it.
Just change the color. Don't do anything. Like I shouldn't make it like a hyper liquid Tesla or a burb Tesla. Just change the.
I would just change. It's such a subtle flex. Like if you literally take the color from the background of your ape, like it's such it's a very specific blue, right? Leaning into that would be really cool.
I did not know this. I was searching I have a core memory of my dad at one point had a station wagon. So me and my stepbrother would always sit in the very back seat where you like face the, you're facing the opposite direction. And as part of my search looking for a picture of it, this is not the exact one, but I wasn't aware that they're back. It says the article I found is the once mocked 90s wagon is now a hot item. Outer, not surprised, the trendsetter here getting ahead of things. Were you aware that station wagons are they're fully back? Apparently.
Well, listen, in Europe they never left, right? Like it's a very North American market that like the SUV came in and phased out the station wagon, and the trucks came in. Like that's a big thing. But if you go to Europe, like it's all station wagons. I've seen station wagons that I've like never seen, like Hyundai station wagons, like in Europe. Like there's just things you just won't see in North America that like I'd have to get. I considered getting some imports, like because I really love them. But I'm not surprised that it would come back to it. Like the station wagon is such a great car if you're sporty, if you have a giant dog. Like if you have like, windsurfer boards you got to put in there. If you want to sleep in your car at a festival without like, and still wanting to park it somewhere. Like I just love it for that. Especially if you have like a big moonroof and you're like lying in the back of it. The best. Like you don't need a van. You don't need a giant SUV. Like, I don't know. I just love them. So hopefully it's even more of a comeback and then we start seeing them actually sold in North America, but we'll see.
My shocked face as I was in my search, I was not aware. You said Volkswagen. It calls it a van, but it pulled up in my station wagon search was these new Volkswagen van / station wagons. They MSRP is like $70,000 on these things. Like they're back. I had no idea that station wagons were in kind of cool. Again, they're calling it a station wagon, but it looks more vanish to me.
Are you talking are you talking about their iconic like EV van thing, or is it an actual station wagon?
Yeah, it's called the Volkswagen ID Buzz. I mean, I don't know, but maybe like I'll pull it up on screen here. If you are listening in and not on video, closest I can describe is it's almost like a hybrid between a van and a station wagon, maybe.
No, that's their like little van thing. That's not
not
a
an
station
actual
wagon.
station
It's
wagon.
cute though.
Yeah. Anyways, I bet no one had station wagons and vans on today's space. But you know what? Take me back. We got to the suburban trad wife got us way too into SUVs. We need to go back to station wagons, vans. Like, you want to talk about a fun road trip? Get one of those things, make it full self-driving, and there's an opportunity there between the RV in the car or SUV. You spread out, get some captain chairs back there. Like, what a great, I think
van life is real. I mean, like, I would love to add a van to the car collection, just because then, like, I could take the entire back out of it, since I don't have 7 children, and I could just put all the windsurf boards in the back. Like, that would be pretty sweet, not to have to roof rack windsurf boards. I would love
this
that.
Is it. I've talked about getting an RV. Maybe I skip the RV and just go the station wagon route. Yeah, Thomas says loved his Subaru 2012 WRX wagon.
Solid wagon. Also, Hizzy, like shout out, man. I get the best station wagon porn from Hizzy. Like, hit top, like, full on. So good. So good.
Love it. We did invoke some hands here on the probably. So we're. I did not think we would run out of. I didn't think we'd spend this much time on station wagons, and
I'm here to talk to station wagons, Cap.
Real.
Hell yeah.
Who doesn't love it? Chevy Chase made me fall in love with station wagons, with National Lampoons. Okay, and ever since I was a kid and saw that station wagon, like, I've owned station wagons. I prefer a van. I've had sports cars and all the nine, but there's just something special about a station wagon. And like Outer Lumen said, concerts, festivals, all these things, it's just perfect because it's not really a van, but it's not really a car either. And you can do activities.
Underrated for sure. I don't know. Maybe new sponsor is Volkswagen. We've been teasing, just haven't shared that yet. Einstein, go ahead and get in here, and then we will.
Volvo, lean into this. I mean, like, I love Volvos because I just feel like I don't know if you've seen, there's a subreddit where Volvo is known to be like, oh, you got into an accident, is the other car okay? like that is, like, it's a steel box, right? Like, it feels good. And even the commercial that went pretty viral was like literally a whole story, and it was all about like what didn't happen, which kind of like is the Volvo thing. It's like everyone kind of fades it or doesn't think about it, but they actually came up with the seatbelt part that goes around your chest. Like, that is a Volvo safety gift to the rest of the auto industry that they didn't keep for themselves. I don't know. I'm bullish on Volvos, even though once, if you get an old one, good luck, because repairing them is really expensive. But like, I smile when I sit in my car and someone pulls up next to me, and my family hates me for this because I do race and I try not to. It's terrible. Like, I love driving, and I look over, and I know I'm gonna beat this person, but also it's unassuming. Like, they just don't even like think that somebody in like the most plainest of cars with a Labubu hanging from the rearview mirror is gonna take them on. And I do, and my Volvo has kick. Like, it's good. We got it. So yeah, it's pretty funny to like have that experience. But also, like, we have an EV, and those are amazing too. Like, if you really want to kick someone's butt, like, I mean, it's pretty good acceleration right off there on the red light. Not driving advice from me ever, just for the record.
Yeah, I'm with you on driving fast. It's also another reason I'm a fan of full self-driving, because it's better than cruise control, which I would rarely set. But yet the full self-driving, even if I ratchet it all the way up to like Mad Max mode, it's at least keeps me under. I'm not even going to say how fast I might go sometimes, but I've got some lore when it comes to speeding and speeding tickets. We're not going to get into today. Payne's already.
Can you tell me who has hands up? Because I can't see hands, and Einstein, I feel terrible now that you said that, because I have no idea that the people have hands up.
I don't see hands either, but Einstein is unmuted. Einstein, the floor is yours. Welcome back.
No, I appreciate it. I didn't want to interrupt, but no, the only question I had to have, you're talking about full self-driving. How do you feel about the subscription model they supposedly released for it? Are you a little disheartened? I know a lot of people were.
I heard something drop, Cap. That was so funny.
No, I'm.
I know a lot of the community is outraged just because a lot of people bought in for the feature, and now it's going in a subscription model supposedly.
So if you own if you bought it, you keep it. Like you don't have to pay the subscription. So, and I think you have until February 13th or 14th to purchase that outright. It's like I want to say $8,000 for the full outright purchase, or it's $99 a month. To me, it's not even a question. I gladly pay $99 a month over $8,000. Like the net present value on $8,000 is just how I operate. I'd much rather have the 8K liquid and not have to, it's easily the best $100 I spend on any sort of monthly subscription. Not that I have a lot of $100 monthly subscriptions, but I don't mind it. And the one thing that's going to be interesting is when they go unsupervised full self-driving, which is coming soon. He's pretty much said that that's going to be a different tier. So I'm really curious what that'll come in at. But I'll tell you, there's some price sensitivity, I'm guessing, and probably more so for others. But if you're telling me I can drive from Florida to Ohio and work on my MacBook the whole time or take a nap, like I'd easily pay. I don't know. I don't want to say easily because I just don't drive that much. But if I can go up and down, like I'd easily pay $300 to up my subscription. It's going to be interesting to see how they come out with it. I also, last time we did hit on subscription base a little bit, was talking about like Optimus, and I think those robots will come to market with either a lease or a subscription model as well. But go ahead, and then I do want to touch on delusional optimism, and that can lead us into we'll talk a little bit about Burb and this Burb price ripping up and hype and the good segue.
And the triple B, like the Bed Bath and Beyond, like I'm hooked. Like whatever this is about is important. We've
got to spend at least a little bit of time talking Bed Bath and Beyond and why it's relevant. It is very relevant. It is. We're going to not just tie this to crypto. It's a direct crypto tie-in. But go ahead, Einstein.
Yeah, no, you're good. So from what I was gauging, and I don't keep up with Tesla near as much. This is just news that I heard. I know that the subscription model is going to be like a 20, 100, and a 200 supposedly. I didn't know the 200 was going to be completely full self-driving, so that's kind of a nice bonus. But if they're not really upgrading it, I mean, from a business standpoint, doesn't this seem kind of like going back on your word? I mean, the way I'm taking it is that this was kind of a bomb that no one was expecting, and a lot of people were really disheartened just by the fact that this was kind of the selling point on a large part of Tesla. Now it's becoming a monthly cost to them on top of whatever they spent on their Tesla.
I haven't seen that. I'm not like in every Tesla group chat, but I haven't seen any pushback at all. Because if people want to buy it, they can buy it. They don't lose it. It's another option. It's going away in the future, but no one that's already bought it is getting penalized. They get to keep it. And just going forward, like new full self-driving as of mid-month this month, the only way will be the subscription model going forward, but no one that already has it's getting penalized. They get to keep it as is. I'm going to test see if we can get this co-host thing working. My bat phone is on its last leg. Hey, it worked. We're good. Outer, do you want to set up this delusional optimism being the secret to success, and that can help me support my bullish thesis on hype, and can't say I'm really bullish on Burb the token, but
so this is an article that I saw on the timeline. It's an old article. It's from like 1988.
Oh wow!
It's called "Illusion and Well-Being: A Social Psychological Perspective on Mental Health." And like the biggest thing about it is that the authors, so Taylor and Brown, argue that it's not necessarily a bad thing to have positive illusions. And they list kind of like the most like kind of common positive illusions that people have. So one would be like having an unrealistically positive like self-view. So you see yourself like better than average. Another one would be like an exaggerated sense of personal control. So you're feeling like more in control than you truly are. And one example of that is like most people don't stress about the fact that at any second they could like literally die because their body could fail. Like we don't go about our days thinking about that. We have like some vision of mortality, but it's not like, oh my God, something could just fail in this like bag of cells and I might just be done. Like we have an exaggerated sense that we're like in control of our life somehow. That's a good thing. We have unrealistic optimism about the future. And what they found, or at least what they postulate, is that people that have these biases, they actually feel that they get help with happiness, coping with stress, better motivation, creativity, productivity, like even social functioning, because they have this illusion that they're like, I'm optimistic, everything is good. And people who lack these biopsies, so like, somebody with diagnosed depression or whatever, they often have this like more accurate but less positive take and expectation. And so there's this like adaptive role that happens with having these illusions, because they can actually buffer the emotional stress and help people stay motivated in like super difficult situations. So it also apparently helps with recovery from setbacks, because you're just like, well, everything's fine. I have this optimism. And it's funny how, like, I sent this to you because I thought, man, what a hilarious thing to think about delusional optimism. Because, like, if Quit's putting on the McDonald's uniform and I'm whipping out my McDonald's mattress, getting ready for a 4-year bear, there is this, like, perhaps air of delusional, optimism involved in just being in the space to begin with. But it's not necessarily a bad thing, is the point of at least this like old school 1988 paper.
Yeah.
I hope that did it justice.
Perfect. I mean, I'm a fan. It also confirms my priors. It's just how I live my life. And I had a mentor at a young age. He was just talking about like the difference between positive people, negative people, and not perma bears, but just critics, people who are just critical of everything. And he said, yeah, I've traveled a lot. I've never yet been to a city where they've erected statues of critics. And just diving in, like, it takes very little talent to point out what's wrong with the world, what's broken with things. It's easy to dunk on and be that pessimistic individual. Sometimes seeing the good in things takes more challenge. And I think from you mentioned like mental health and personal happiness, like I don't know. I couldn't imagine like going through every day just being down on everything, and the sky is falling, the world is ending. And I do think there's some subconscious tie-ins there as well, just in terms of your health. And anyways, good article. I did find and link the original article from 1988. That's pinned up top if anyone wants to do the full read. And then Brandon Liu, this is the MD here, who grabbed the screen grab and tweeted it with, "Delusional optimism is the secret to success. People who overestimate their chances work harder and persist longer, even against the odds. That extra persistent turns failures into wins." And
I don't know, man. I buy that like pretty hard. I'm with you. I am absolutely a delusional optimist, like through and through. And I just feel like, I don't know. For me, a goal in my life would be that if I get a moment where I'm aware that I'm dying, I want to be like laughing about my life. I want to be like that happy about it. The last thing I want to do is be like, oh my God, I didn't do that thing, or I didn't live it right, or whatever. And just like exercising complete control over that, I think is important. One thing that would be interesting that I haven't done yet is you could see if you do like or you can probably ask it AI to just do this for you, but look at how many articles since 88 have referenced that article to see like if it has been debunked or like supported. It'd be kind of interesting to like do like a little probe into like, okay, well, since that take came out, kind of how did that age through the years? But I think like it does make a difference. I think all of us have that like negative friend, and like how draining is that? Right? Like if you literally know somebody in your life, friend or family, where every time you talk to them, you feel like you're their therapist. And I'm not saying you shouldn't be there for them, but there's a point where it's almost like tale as old as time, the same thing over and over and over again. And you're literally like, man, I wish I could get you some kind of help so that you can get out of this like perspective that you're in. I think that article addresses exactly that, right? It's like, well, what is at the root of somebody seeing the glass half empty versus seeing the glass half full? And I've always been on the side of like, no, this is fine. I can like totally, no matter how like terrible it gets, it can't be that bad. There's always like some positive spin that can come out of whatever it is. And I think I've lived that like pretty wholeheartedly. So yeah, I don't know. Like there's just so many like things that you can do to like choose the kind of response that you have to something super negative. Like, I don't know. at the end of the day, I feel like it's this like hallway of doors, right? You get like a stimulus, and then you get to choose which hallway of doors you walk through and which door it is. And it could be the door of you being mad about it, or it could be the door of you being happy about it, or the door of you just accepting it. But like, if you don't really allow yourself the hallway to begin with, and you're always pushed through a door that's a negative emotion, then the thing to work on is just building that hallway before you even react. I think like it's pretty good practice.
Yep, I wholeheartedly agree. And I know, yes, you have someone, a friend, a family member that's going through a hard time, and they're like, you should be there for them. And I would in the short term. But if it's someone who that's just their personality, and it's not like they're in a rut, they're going through a tough time. If that's just who they are, I often remove those people from my life. I just, they say you're an average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. I don't want that creeping into my conscious or subconscious rather. And it's
and I think it's important to make a distinction between like grieving something versus like literally having like this chronic like negative look on life, right? Because I think like it's okay to sit in grief with someone. Like, I got cancer, my mom did too. I had like a full-on double mastectomy, and the day after my mother died, and that was probably pretty traumatizing for me. That happened like 7 months ago. Like the year hasn't even like passed itself, and like I'm a pretty awesome person to be around, because that happened, but like I can't change that. That's just like, it's just having this like radical acceptance. But that doesn't mean that like I was chipper the entire time, and I had to sit with a ton of grief at some point. And sometimes I still grieve that. But like grieving it just means I'm not going to carry the hurt of that with me constantly. But that also doesn't mean that imagine if I came on Spaces every Tuesday and I was like, oh my God, I hate my life because my mom died. Like, what a terrible outcome to have on that. Like, so there's a difference between like acknowledging the loss versus like letting it be my future, because it's a thing that happened already and I cannot change it. And so like, and now I think like, even with my own cancer diagnosis, is like everything about it for me is like a positive spin, and we joke around a lot about it, because like I'm the joke in my household is that I'm becoming a crypto bro, like at the truest essence. And it's really funny because like, to prevent like my cancer from coming back, I completely cut off my chest and I don't have anything there, and I love it. And I'm a better climber because of it, but also like more broy, and all of my like, merch fits me better. And now I had to go into like full on menopause to prevent this. So now I'm just like, wait, like, that was the funny joke about my voice dropping. I'm just like, am I like totally going to just be like pure crypto bro? It is funny, but this is the kind of stuff that makes this like not that deep, because it isn't. Because do you know how many other thousands and millions of people have gone through this? Like a ton. I'm not the only one. And my DMs tell me this, because when I did open up a little bit about it, people came in with their stories of their moms dying and their, wives and daughters and all the things. Like, we all live this. So I don't know. At the end of the day, like it just really comes down to that like outlook on it. And I don't even think it's a matter of like, oh well, you need like medication for that. Like, however it is that you can get to a better outlook on your life, like do it. I don't care what it takes. I don't care if it's like a keto diet, whatever meds, like whatever it is that you need to like wake up in the morning and like feel like you can rock a bit of your day. Get there, because that feeling is, I think, the key to it all. But anyways, I don't know how to pivot from this to Bed Bath and Beyond, but like that is the cliffhanger that I'm hanging on to.
I would just say great distinction from grieving and just being a pessimist all the time. And I don't know, I'm not going to pretend to even have have your lived experience. But how I think is that I believe you're being an optimist by nature and finding the silver lining in things. Maybe not physically, but certainly mentally, I think is probably help with your recovery. And like, there's a lot of people like BEPIC's like, wow, what a tough year. There's people listening today that have heard you talk every day on Tuesday for this show for a while now, and have no idea you went through that. And there's other people in this world that went through similar things, and their life has completely changed. They are like, oh, my life is, I can't believe this happened to me. Woe is me. And they're just feeling sorry for themselves every day. And it's refreshing isn't the right word. It's inspiring to hear someone go through what you went through and yet still have this just optimistic outlook on life and bring that positive energy. And it's not just because we're friends. It's like that you're the type of people I want to surround myself with. I want people like yourself in my life because, hey, life is hard. Like, you're going to have up and downs. We're in crypto. It's an extremely volatile industry. Like, every day is not going to be a great day. And I think getting up from those, the down days, it's getting up when you get knocked down. It says a lot about a person's character, and it's not always easy. And I think it is important to differentiate grieving and sitting with your emotions than just constantly being a negative individual or a pessimistic individual that's always looking for what's wrong in the world. What is not wrong in the world is the price action of the Burb token. How's that for a pivot?
Oh, nice.
I will. We're gonna go from that to Burb token right into Bed Bath & Beyond, all because they start with a B. But like we shared earlier, it's up big on the day. It got an upbit listing and ripped up. It's up 46% on the 24-hour clock, but it actually ran all the way up to almost 500 million fully diluted value. Currently trading around 340. Someone said earlier about the where it goes from here. Maybe I'm just guessing. We don't have enough history. It's really hard to do any sort of TA on a week old chart, let alone last 24 hours. Part of me wouldn't be surprised if where yesterday I saw the market makers setting that floor at, say, 200 million, maybe they just up their new floor and it becomes 300 million. We will see today how this thing continues to trade, but the claim is still open. The Burb game is still live. Now, I think the first unlock there is like 7 or 8 days out. So it is, if you are trading the token, it's important to be aware of those unlocks. And I would expect some additional sell pressure. There's also a large percentage of the holder base. And I'll see if we can find some updated numbers. At last, it was like over 50% of the holders still hadn't claimed their initial Burb. So you're not a lone outer, but if you don't mind sharing, do you plan to claim and nest and play the staking game? Do you plan to claim and just sell the Burb token? Have you thought through like how you might play the token both today and then every month, assuming it's nested every month, you'll get additional Burb?
Okay. I mean, as somebody who literally nested like for 1,300 and however many days the first time around, you would think I would be the first person to nest day one. But Cap and I chatted about this and it did not happen. Mainly because in the Discord, I saw everybody fighting the UI UX. And as a UI UX designer, I was like, hell no. Like, I am not going to go in the trenches and fud this like everybody else. I'm just going to wait it out. I don't care. It's not that deep. So I don't know. I think I'm gonna like dust off the old Solana wallet, claim all the things, because I have like a Moonbird, I have a Mythic, I have an Oddity, I have a Tubins. I don't know, man. I have all of the Moonbird things. I have like some proof things, like from art. Like, I don't know. I'm gonna like look at my stash of proof ecosystem things, see what's eligible for stuff, and then maybe nest it, maybe not. Like, I just don't feel any type of way about it. I feel like I need to log in and see what I'm going to do. So, and look, ADHD, be real. I might like dust off the Solana wallet and then go look at Claynosaurz. Like, I don't even like, I have no plan aside from at some point this week, I'm going to like sit down and actually do the thing. So yeah, I don't know. There's a part of me that wanted to maybe find a Moonbirds collector that might want my like matching Moonbird and Oddity, because my Moonbird is like, I think top 1,500 rare and the matching Oddity is top 500 rare, and the numbers match. And I'm like, but I don't know if anyone's like as crazy of a collector as I am about like mint numbers and provenance and all of these things. And also OpenSea doesn't let you like group things together and list them either. Like they took away a bunch of features that I liked as a collector, unfortunately. And that's fine, but like for things like this, I'm just like, oh, I don't know. Maybe I'll just nest it. Who cares? Like what I don't want to do though, and I don't know if anybody knows this because I didn't read the fine print, but do I have to like every month do some kind of claiming thing, or does stuff just? Oh, are you kidding me? Like who has time for that?
Well, see, here's the deal about that too. Is like he has a game and like largely a large portion is unclaimed. So like if you go participate in the activities, essentially the redistribution goes to those who are participating in the burb game.
Yep.
And if you're nesting, but I lost my shit because y'all were on stage talking about the nesting situation, and it wasn't but like a few hours later on the timeline. I swear it was a few hours later that they said nesting 2.0, and I tagged out her because she had just been like, yo, I've been nesting for 3 years and they're gonna do this to me. Oh man, I lost it. It was
so funny. I saw that I died. I was like, I can't believe it. Like literally talked about like the nesting, unnesting. I'm probably one of the longest nesters, if not the longest nester. Like it's pretty hilarious that why would they call it that? I don't know. I don't care. But it sounds like if I have to babysit this thing every month, like the reason why I'm not a trad wife is because I just can't imagine like being responsible for anything beyond my daily routine. Like, you know, my 14-year-old gamer son is self-sustained, and now we play Hollow Knight and lock in, and he's my friend. But like everything else sounds high maintenance. So to baby something every month, like I don't know, man. That sounds like a lot of work. Like, are people doing this? Is this a thing? Like, I have to play some game? I don't know.
Yes and no. I'm guessing I don't know. I'm guessing that after you play it once, if you don't change it, it just stays there. I've got it pulled up on screen. One thing that I think would be helpful is if they have a direct link to it. Like the only way I know how to get to the game is go through the claim site, and then I got to reconnect my wallets again. And they could use some help on the UI front. I did play it with the ones I claimed from my Solana wallet with the Soulbound tokens in the burb boxes, the vinyls. I've not yet I got 108 burb for holding a mythic. I've not yet deployed that, but here's the rules. You can allocate your tokens across 4 characters in any combination. Those characters are Burb, Pip, Tubins, and Zen. At the end of Burb Game 1, the character with the most tokens allocated to them wins all the tokens from the character with the second most tokens allocated to them. And the character with the least tokens allocated to them wins all the tokens from the character with the third most tokens allocated to them. Burb Game 1 is Burb EV positive. At the end of the game, an additional amount of burb is added proportionally to all claims. People claim their winnings pro rata based on the percentage of tokens allocated to the character their token represents. Players do not know how many tokens were allocated to each character until the game ends. Allocating 25% to each character is a strong strategy to play the game because it results in getting strictly more tokens out than you put in. So I interpret that if I put in, like right now, it's called 1,100 tokens, I'm getting at least 1,100 tokens back. Even if I miss, if I hit the wrong ones, I hit the second and the third most, I'm still getting back 1,100 tokens as new allocation. But if I hit it right and I get the most or the least correct, then I'm getting the new allocation plus whatever I would win. Maybe my understanding is incorrect, but I do think it's worth playing the game. I did not go the full 25%.
Is it fun?
I mean, it's just you're clicking buttons. So
okay.
It's fun to me because it's game theory. There's no actual game. It's just you choose one of 4 characters or 4 of 4 characters, and then depending on what others choose is whether you win or not. The first season does end on February 11th, so I think you're good as long as you do it before February 11th. But yeah, I would put it on your to-do list this week just so you don't miss out on that first, because it seems like you can't lose how they've
okay. I like that. That makes sense. Like I said, I haven't sat down and like I can't do things half-assed. I have to like sit down and like actually read all the things and not skim it just because. So I haven't done like the full-on research. So I'll definitely need to do that. I also might have a good pivot to Bed Bath and Beyond.
Go for it.
I want to PSA and say, because I realize I've been making like jokes about trad wives. The beauty of living now is that you can do both. You can be a trad wife, and more power to you. Where were you when I had my kid? I don't like babies. I wish you were here to help me. but you could also, be in crypto and do your thing and, maybe be less of a mother figure, and that's okay. Whereas I think if I was born in like 1600s, I would have been full on the first person to be burned at the stake as a witch. So I'm just happy that in this world, at least so far, you get to do both. And I'm an and person, so I definitely didn't want anybody listening being like, I feel attacked. What's wrong with trad wives? Nothing is wrong with trad wives. I talk about it a lot because my son, who's 14, is definitely like on TikTok and comes up with the most hilarious takes sometimes because he has like his FYP page as a source of truth for certain things. So he'll come to the breakfast table and he's like, did you know that they banned Christianity in the UK? And we're like, I'm sorry, what? Or like some other random take, completely just like unwarranted because some influencer on whatever side decided to like say something on TikTok. And yeah, so this is why it's been brought up, is because recently he's because somehow the trad wife movement got onto his FYP page. So we've been talking about it.
It actually is a perfect segue.
And somebody who's not one, I imagine like the whole Bed Bath and Beyond thing would definitely be like, on a trad wife's probably like shopping rotation. Maybe I'm generalizing, but like I feel like I need more info here.
Well,
tell me everything.
It is a perfect segue when you talk about and you can be now a trad wife that shops at Bed Bath and Beyond and a crypto bro, because the big news coming out of yesterday. Now, Bed Bath and Beyond, I think it went into bankruptcy. It's been resold. It's kind of had a restructure, and the news yesterday was Bed Bath & Beyond has agreed to acquire Tokens.com to launch a real estate tokenization platform by mid-2026, letting users access home equity in cash or crypto through T0 and Figure Technologies. Another text here from Home Textiles Today. Actually, this is no love on that account. The initial news came from, I saw it from CoinMarketCap. You also have Crypto Fundraising tweeted about it. Trying to find one here that got a little more, maybe a little more credible just in terms of followers. But I'm just going to go directly to the press release here. This came, it's Home Textiles Today sharing the press release. Bed Bath & Beyond links home retail with tokenized finance. At a glance, Bed Bath & Beyond has agreed to acquire Tokens.com to expand into tokenized personal finance. Tokens.com enables liquidity for home purchases, refinancing, and home equity line of credits. The platform bridges tokenized assets and traditional real-world investing. T0, Figure, and Shift Labs support blockchain custody and AI integration. As it pushes deeper into its strategy to become the everything home company, Bed Bath & Beyond has inked an agreement to acquire an investment in a personalized finance platform. Tokens.com describes itself as liquidity gateway. Among other things, it allows users to leverage their assets for home purchases, refinancing, and finding home equity lines of credit. Bed Bath & Beyond will position the platform as a one-stop resource for real estate and other real-world assets. Finance that bridges tokenized and traditional investing. The platform will be integrated with Bed Bath & Beyond's financial technology, insurance, and blockchain-based businesses. For customers who access liquidity through the platform, Tokens.com is expected to provide a multi-asset ecosystem that taps into cash and cryptocurrencies, including stablecoins such as YLDS, the yield-bearing stablecoin offered by Figure. Bed Bath & Beyond's T0 business will support tokenization, custody, and trading capabilities on Tokens.com. The quote from Marcus Lemonis, who's executive and CEO of Bed Bath. I did not know this, so it did get acquired. Marcus Lemonis is, if you've seen this show, The Prophet, Marcus, I believe his first big business was Camper World, tying this all back together with RVs and vans and whatnot. But he says our strategy brings together partners like Figure Technologies and Figure Markets, the infrastructure of T0, and the operating and AI integration capabilities provided by Shift Labs. Said again, Marcus Lemonis, executive chairman and CEO of Bed Bath & Beyond, providing responsible, compliant liquidity pathways for homeowners and real estate asset holders is our strategy and long-term vision. Thoughts on that, Outer?
Oh my God, I'm so here for that. I need to go adopt 7 kids. This is like, get a van, and this is wild. I'm excited about this. I don't know. I think like that's, as an and person, that just makes so much sense. I absolutely am bullish. That's so funny. Also, like, what though? In a way, like,
Yeah.
it can both make sense, but it's like so weird.
It is weird when we think of Bed Bath & Beyond of what it was. I think it makes all the sense in the world knowing that Bed Bath & Beyond is pivoting to the everything home company, and you've got a leader, a CEO, someone in Marcus Lemonis who has done well in other industries and done things differently. Like, I don't know the full Camper World story, but he's very much the show Profit was, think of like Bar Rescue, but for small medium businesses of all different throughout different industries, going into something that needs revitalization, needs not even necessarily a pivot, in some cases a pivot, but how can you modernize and future proof a brand that might have brand loyalty, might have some brand equity, but their business model is failing. And I think the bigger takeaway for me in reading this, understanding who's behind it, is not just Bed Bath & Beyond acquiring tokens.com. I think this is where the world's heading. Like, am I biased in blockchain technology? Do I think the world is getting tokenized and it's all coming on chain, whether we like it or not? Yes. I think it's stuff like this that will accelerate it. When you think about traditional retail, and I've been beating the experiential retail drum for a while, this is, I believe, better than, you see Affirm everywhere and Payday, you see all the, oh, you can finance this interest free for 90 days. You can finance your burrito over 4 payments if you want. Like, that's already taking off. And I'm not saying that goes away, but I think there's going to be a large chunk of consumers that don't necessarily want to finance something on a high interest rate or like payday loan type scenario, but rather, hey, I've got this home, I've got all these assets that are I can't tap into the equity in. This, to me, it's building a better mousetrap, it's building a better ecosystem, and it makes me bullish. Not just tokens.com, like I now I can see a path to Bed Bath & Beyond becoming like the everything home company, where it was a fledgling brand that was, kind of on life support. This is a big swing. It's a big move. But I think it's this sort of stuff that makes a heck of a lot more sense to reimagine a brand when you're leaning into cutting edge stuff. In this case, it's the intersection of AI and blockchain, like, and tapping into those RWAs, tapping into the equity of the assets these people hold. I was using an example recently, like, if you want to tap into equity of your vehicle, like if I wanted to go take a loan out on my Tesla, or I still have a Jeep if anyone's in the market for a old Jeep Wrangler, my options are extremely limited. Like, I could go get a payday loan maybe. I just, there's not great ways to tap into equity in the assets you own, especially real world assets. And while I didn't think about like home furnishings, it's my quick understanding of what Lemonis is leaning into is beyond just home furnishings, but taking all those assets. Like, furniture's expensive, like being able to tap into that equity. And I'm really curious, excited to follow along. I haven't seen this even you saw my searching X there. I haven't, other than CoinMarketCap talking about this, and that didn't even get much, traction. Got 120 likes. I haven't seen this really in the news elsewhere. And I think it's a big deal. I think it's a big deal for blockchain tech. I think it's a big deal for RWAs and real world asset utility. And I just, to me, it's inevitable. Like that's where we're heading. It's just how exactly we get there to where the masses are aware of this, and not only aware of it, but able to actually do something with it. And I think it's a big move. I think it's a big move that may not be getting a lot of attention today, but one that we could look back on in 5 to 10 years and be like, oh yeah, everyone's doing this, and they just happened to do it first.
But hear me out. The 8 Yacht Club Clubhouse is like fully decked out in all of the Bed Bath & Beyond stuff when they make it.
Yeah, why not, right?
Is that still happening, by the way? I actually have no idea.
It is. We don't have a timeline. I think they're speculating it would be end of the year, but we've not seen. All we know is it's coming. It's going to be in Miami, and they announced that at Ape Fest. But no, as far as I know, no updates yet or since on timing or any details around it. And yeah, for those asking, Bed Bath & Beyond did go through bankruptcy. They filed for Chapter 11 in April of 23, along with 73 affiliated entities, including Bye Bye Baby. Here's what happened at the time of the filing. The company had about 4.4 billion in assets and 5.2 billion in debts. The company had 360 Bed Bath & Beyond stores and 120 of those Bye Bye Baby locations. They've remained temporarily open during the bankruptcy process. The company secured a $240 million loan to fund operations during bankruptcy. Then all the remaining stores eventually closed, with the last location closing July of 23. Then in June of 23, Overstock.com acquired the Bed Bath & Beyond name and the intellectual property for $21 million. Overstock later rebranded itself to Beyond Inc. and relaunched the Bed Bath & Beyond website. As of 25, the Bed Bath & Beyond brand is returning to physical retail through a partnership with Kirkland's, which is Costco, with at least 5 smaller neighborhood stores expected to open. More than half of the former store locations have been re-tenanted by other retailers like Burlington, Home Goods, Barnes & Noble, even indoor pickleball centers. So while the original chain liquidated completely, the brand name survived and is making it come back in a much smaller format, but not only the smaller retail format, but this leaning into tech, in this case, blockchain tech and RWAs and AI combined with that smaller format. Like I am, I guess, bullish Overstock. And this is, I guess, is Overstock publicly traded? I'm not really sure. I would assume so. But I think you might look back and see that be yes, it is. Overstock.com is publicly traded. Largest shareholders Burn with 20% holdings. I think we might look back and that $21 million acquisition of that brand is a smashing deal. It's powerful. I mean, Bed Bath & Beyond carries weight, I think, more so than Overstock.com. I think of it differently, especially when I think of like a brick and mortar retail store, than I would Overstock.com. And we're not going to talk about this every day for sure, but I think we will probably be talking about this again, if not before, likely when this goes live. It said targeting July of this year. And I genuinely think we'll see a lot more retail companies, a lot more businesses in general go this route and lean into modern finance. Outer, appreciate you hanging out with us today, powering through the being under the weather. I do hope you get feeling better soon. Wishing you a speedy recovery. Costco related, the hottest item from Costco right now is the Kirkland and Nike SB Dunk release. Did not have that on my bingo card either, but
wait, what? Oh man, okay.
Nike and Costco released a sneaker. I'm trying to pull it up because I think it even says Kirkland on it. Yeah, this is, oh my goodness, they're going for $400 to $600 on StockX and eBay. This, I don't know why this is not meant as offense, and like I know him pretty well, but my brain says, man, this is he may not buy them if they're already priced up, but this is like, it screams Steve to me. This is like a Steve dad shoe here. It's I actually kind of like the shoe. I could do without the Kirkland logo, but I don't mind the shoe itself for those watching video.
Does it come with a hot dog?
Be a good promo, good call to action there. Buy a pair of, and that doesn't sound like they need to drive any sales because it is. I can't believe these things are selling for $600 on secondary market. Just what a time to be alive! Like you could go buy your Kirkland Nike Dunks at Costco, then flip it on StockX or eBay, and that flip alone you might feed yourself for a year off of Costco hot dogs.
Like nothing surprises me anymore. I used to get this brand called Jellycat, which is like this stuffed animal brand for my son. And like the first one I bought must have been like maybe, I want to say like 2017. And like we recently looked through all of his toys because apparently Jellycats are like almost like the new Beanie Babies or something. I don't know. People like I was at the local store and I saw one that I thought was kind of interesting. I thought maybe it would be like a fun decorative item for the house. And everyone's like, "Oh, Jellycat, Jellycat," and I'm like, "I know the brand, thanks. I bought it like ages ago, but apparently it's like mooning and everybody's collecting them." So I went and we looked through. And my son is so funny. He's like, "What? I'm sitting on a bag of something." So we were like eBaying his like 2017 hedgehog, which is now worth like $150. I bought it for like maybe $15. I don't know. It's kind of wild. Like this stuff is just crazy.
Wait a second. This might make it worth the $600 itself. Is the image I'm looking at here on eBay? It shows one of the tags tied to the shoes. It looks like a Costco card. It says Nike SB member since 3/20/2002, and it's a headshot, an image of a person. If this is unique to every buyer and they actually print this thing for you, I might run to Costco today. I don't know if that's the case. It could
that sounds cool.
It could be the same for all, but it's actually not a bad looking sneaker other than I'm not a big fan of the Kirkland logos, but I feel like I should go to Costco today. I'm sure it seems like they're probably already sold out because of the demand of these, but yeah, what a wild time to be alive. We got Bed Bath Beyond buying tokens.com. We've got Nike partnering with Kirkland's for the hottest shoe of the year. And neither of which of those things that I have on my radar. Zane, also big fan of the Jellycat as well. I think we ran if anyone guessed all the topics we're going to hit on today, I want to know what numbers they're picking in the next Powerball, because I don't know as if I even thought we'd hit on all these things before we got started. But truly appreciate you being here today. Appreciate all of our guests. And any closing words, any final thoughts before we let everyone get out of here?
No, thanks for having me and powering through with the cold. Hopefully I'll be back on the camera next week, and I don't even know what we're going to talk about, but that's the best part of being in crypto is you never know, and 7 days is like 7 years.
Always something new. And the one thing we didn't really hit on today is Hyperliquid. We flew over it yesterday, the HIP-4. They are getting into prediction markets and a lot more than just what you might think of the current iteration of prediction markets. So it's a little bit evergreen. We'll talk a little more about that tomorrow, as well as how you might be able to play it or follow the on-chain data to what might be foreshadowing the direction of the token, assuming that this HIP goes good, or if it doesn't gain traction. The parallel there would be the Hyperliquid hype. The token just kind of was just traded in line with the market. They launched their metals and commodities. You could trade futures on, or perps on silver, for instance, a month ago, and it didn't really do anything in terms of price action until Jeff, the CEO, came out and shared some of the data around it. And then that I think was part of what attributed to this recent 40% gain in a week. All that data was available to us. Just no one, at least I didn't see anyone on crypto Twitter talking about how much volume they were doing. It was like 2% of the total silver trade in the world, and they just launched it 30 days ago. We had access to all that data. You could see it all in chain. It's just an example of when we have protocols with real fundamentals and doing real volume and generating real revenue, sometimes you can get ahead of these token pumps. And I think hopefully more to come there. Coinbase also launched their prediction market. So the prediction markets aren't going anywhere, although I do question where some of the earlier ones, Kalshi and Polymarket to name two, maybe a little overvalued, as it seems like anyone and everyone's getting in that space now. I say that knowing that I think Coinbase partnered with, I think it was Kalshi. I think they partnered with one of the existing ones, but more on that tomorrow. Appreciate y'all being here. Outer, get feeling better. And thank you all. Appreciate all the love today. As Steve would say, we hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful day, everyone.